Hey, what's up, family? And we got a great video for you today. It's going to be an educational one. And I'm going to title this one, Atropine and the Three Fates. It's a Greek mythology thing, saying the three fates. So, although we're going to be talking about that drug you see at the bottom there called atropine, which could have its medical benefits, and it also could be a poison. But we're going to talk about the origin of atropine. And speaking of the origin of atropine, we got to talk about the three fates, the Greek mythology three fates. And what is that? These are three sisters who dealt with all the livelihoods of the humans, from birth to their death. And speaking of that, so let's start off with the first one to your far left, called Clotho. Now, Clotho, her AKA name would be the Spinner. So her name was Clotho, but they also called her the Spinner. She will be the one that will be, of the three, the most liked, I would say, the most loved, because she is the one that gave life. You know, so she allowed life, she gave life. So that's why they called her the Spinner. And as you can see, that string that goes through all of them, see, that is representing life. So she gave life, and that's why they called her the Spinner. Then you had your middle sister, which is called Lokisis. Lokisis is the one, as you can see, she's measuring out the thread of life. She is the one that measured out the life. It's basically saying this is the length of life, the duration of life that you will live. So you got from this point of time to that point of time to live. Just to give you an example. Now, I know this may sound cruel. She basically was the one who said, okay, my sister Clotho just gave life to a newborn baby. Lokisis, is only going to allow that newborn baby to live only 2 months. Now, I know that sounds cruel, but unfortunately, these things do really happen in the real world. Whereas that family or whoever may be with that little baby and saying they going through all kinds of hell and doctors and all kind of stuff, trying to keep this baby alive, but Lokisis has already made she already made her decision that you're only going to live 2 months. Isn't it crazy? Because then you may have violent people in this world who live to be 100. You know, you got people like Hitler or Leopold and all these guys who live to be old men, but you took a little baby's life. But that was Lokisis, where she was the one, as they call Lokisis, aka the measurer. So she measured the length of time that a person had to live. Then you got the oldest of the sisters at the very far right end, called Atropos. And as you can see, Atropos got a pair of scissors in her hand, cutting the thread of her middle sister, Lokisis, which means she cuts the life, meaning she's the one that ends your life. She's the one that at the end, she says, that's it for you. I'm cutting your life. We all heard that terminology before where they say, man, you're at the end of your rope. Remember that? We heard that before. Now you know where it come from. You're at the end of your rope, meaning that's it for you. Look, Atropos about to cut your life, and your life is no more. So you understand, these are, as I said, these are Greek mythology goddesses, as they say, and they gave life, measured your life, and then took your life, determined when you was going to die. And that was Atropos. So now you understand where the drug name atropine at the bottom, where it comes from. It comes from Atropos. Because there were sometimes, think about it. Think about how sometimes in life you had circumstances where a person was dealing with someone like Lokisis, right? Where she said, you're only going to be living this amount of time. But then sometimes they live beyond that. I'll give you an analogy. How many times we have seen or read or on the internet, you've seen somebody going over a train tracks, right? And the train hits the car, mutilates the car. The car is unrecognizable. And you say to yourself, whoever was driving that car, they must have got killed. There's no way possible they could have survived. But then you find out they came out with only a scratch. And you say to yourself, how is that possible? So if you believe in these goddesses, Clotho, Lokisis, and Atropos, then that would mean that yes, Lokisis had decided you're going to die on this day, But after going over with her sister Atropos, she allowed her to live past that a little longer. Just to give you a type of different perspective of these three sisters. Very deadly game sometimes. But let's go on to the drug Atropine, I'm sorry. Now, what is atropine? Atropine, as I got there on the, that you can see in front of you, it's a drug that could have medical benefits and a good thing for you. But on the other side, if administered wrong, it could be a deadly poison. Now, if you look up the word atropos, it simply means an involuntary nervous system blocker. It's used to speed up the heart when the heart has a slow capacity. It's also used to build saliva when dealing with medical surgical procedures. If administered wrong, as I said, it can be deadly. It could be poison. Even if you drop a drop of this stuff into your eyes incorrectly, it could be poisonous, deadly. It makes you think. You say, on one end it's poisonous, on another end it's beneficial. So that brings me to another way to give you a different perspective. Look at it this way. Let's take a poisonous snake bite, right? By a very poisonous snake. Let's say a cobra, right? A cobra could bite you and it's deadly, but they could take that same cobra poison and they milk the snake to make what? Antivenom. Now you see, what once was very deadly, this very same poison that was deadly, like atropos, making atropine, they make an antivenom now that's beneficial, that can save your life. You understand? So as always, just like to give you a different perspective. I always was intrigued by the three fates, the three sisters, and the word atropine itself. I just thought it'd be a great story to make the comparison and show you where the word originated from, which is atropos, which she represented death. And the word atropine can be deadly, but it also could be beneficial. So just to give you something new that you learned today, subscribe, share, like, and comment. If you got some great comments, leave them. I'd love to hear what you got to say. If there's some additional stuff you want to add to it through your comments, please, I'd love to hear what you're saying. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. And on that note, peace.